Hello and welcome to the Vinyl Vault. My name is Tony Wynn,
And I am Parker.
and today we're talking about some albums. Actually, just one album in
Just the one.
particular.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go straight into it. Today we're talking about "Rockin the Suburbs" by Ben Folds. Now, Parker, are you familiar with Ben Folds? Are you familiar with this album?
I'm not familiar with. This was a first listen. "Rockin the Suburbs" was a song that I recognized. I will talk to you about how I know Ben Folds the most
Okay.
when I talk about um, how I feel about this album.
Okay.
I personally did not like this album.
Mm.
As a whole piece of musical literature. Now there are some highlights, there are some lowlights, but I would say that overall, a swing and a miss for me. Also, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I was listening to it second time through on my way into work this morning and started the album, and I thought this is exactly how every movie in like 2008 started if it was a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It had very it had a cheesy sound. And it's a cheesy album. I'll put it that way. It's cheesy to me.
Okay.
So
And so I know that. So the reason why I chose this album, and a lot of times these albums that I'm choosing is a little bit of assuming that you hadn't listened to the album before, but kind of catering it towards your likes. And I was kind of thinking, okay, like Parker likes he'll sometimes gravitate towards like ballads and things like that, and like the softer side of stuff. So like, will he like a full album of things like that? And also your personality, you're very I guess sarcastic and jokey, and I kind of figured, well, maybe he'll like somebody who sings about being, jokey.
He's very
and
tongue
everything.
in cheek on this album.
Yeah.
Specifically "Rockin the Suburbs." I think it was also just his voice. I think it was his voice that did it. He's not a bad singer. I just don't think he's a great singer.
Mhm.
And so he has this voice where it's how old is this guy?
Ooh, that's he was born in '66.
Okay. So he's going to be 60 next year.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's 6. Like his voice is so like and it's not like an insult. That's just everybody has their own singing voice, Some people have raspy voices, some people have, deep mellow tones. This guy just sounds like he's 12 all the time. And I don't know. It was he's the message is right. I don't think he's the messenger.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, what you were saying, creative lyricism, poppy, catchy melodies. Like, yeah, he's got that on this album. It's just, I just think the way it was delivered, just didn't do it for me personally.
Gotcha. So, I mean, did you find any songs that kind of stood out for both positive and negatives?
Oh yeah. So the 3 best songs I have on this album are not the same, and that's a slower one. So it's not that I wasn't a fan of the ballads. I really like the way that song was written, and it's a song we can all relate to about how, I mean, obviously for different reasons than what Ben writes here, but it's a song about, friends changing, and, the friendship just isn't the same. In this song, obviously he tells a story about a guy who at a party climbs into a tree, finds religion, and then is quote unquote not the same. And that's not a bad thing. I don't think he's saying that that's a bad thing that this person found religion. He's just saying that that's not the person he knew. And I've learned as I've gotten older that I have a hard time understanding, not that people can change, but I have a hard time recognizing that change has occurred. So like if I'm joking with a buddy of mine from college about, hey, remember that one time you did this at that party? Like there's a part of my brain that still thinks that they're that same guy and not like a father of two children with a career. Like
Right.
I forget that, people naturally evolve. And so that song did speak to me. And I can relate to that.
Hmm.
Number two I have is Annie Waits. I feel like that's the second hardest song on this album. And that's really the song that when I turned on the album this morning, I was driving, I was like, I feel like Paul Rudd's about to show up in this film. It's very like 2000. It's very Judd Apatow-ish,
Yeah.
stereotypical soundtrack. And then number one, I have Rockin the Suburbs. And I, doing some research on that, him calling out a lot of the groups that you like,
Hmm.
I think is, exception to the rule. Like I said earlier, I don't think he was the right messenger for this album. This one, that specific song, he kind of fits that mold of, the guy who's not super tough, purposely acting tough in a comedic sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, and I wrote prose, great songwriting, has a good way of telling stories. He's not just singing about heartbreak, he's telling a story of what led to it.
Yeah.
And then I wrote cons, everything else.
Mm.
That's just, I don't know. I can't describe what my brain is thinking while I listen to this album other than just how long do I have to go to say I at least gave it a college try before I can skip.
Mm. Okay.
That's just, I mean, it's no offense to Mr. Ben or Mr. Folds or Mr. Ben Folds. That's just, it is what it is. I am going to stop there just because I want to hear what you think.
Sure. So my number three was also not the same. Yeah, the three that I chose are pretty much songs that I always, when I'm thinking Ben Folds or just have a earworm in my head, it's going to be like these three songs for sort of different reasons, but usually it is like a melody or a riff or something like that. And Still Fighting It. And what I really like about Ben Folds is just that he's a storyteller. I'm very invested in his life just hearing his music. And for me, this album, I struggled trying to find a song that I don't like. And I can say that when I first heard Ben Folds, I totally get what you mean by the like cheesiness of it all, or just kind of like, I don't know, just it's kind of lame in a way. It's just there's nothing cool about it, but I think that's what makes it kind of unique. That rappers and rockers are all about, I'm the best, I'm so cool, I do this, I do that, or whatnot. And he's just talking about his friends and how, they're all quirky and how he's neurotic and goes through divorce and, things like that. And it's just something interesting about just him talking about his life in a really, melodic way and just sharing, his life with people. And so, yeah. So for number two, I would say it would be Still Fighting It. Again, it's one of my favorite choruses and just general songs that I just enjoy to listen to. And then I'd say, and it usually changes, but The Ascent of Stan is also one where I just love the piano part, and it's just so like mysterious sounding. I don't know. It's just like a weird sound that like.
So the first time I listened to that, I was like, whoa, this is some really nice piano
Yes,
playing.
right.
And then it stops.
It goes to that weird like poppy or like almost like a I don't know. I always think of like a slinky. it turns into like a weird like it has a weird ending.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't make it to the ending. I got to the beginning and I thought this is amazing piano playing, and then it just stops and it just goes straight into just solid chords, and I was like, let the piano go.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? But yeah.
Well, I'm sorry this was a struggle for you. Is there like songs, like one in particular or whatever that you like really, really do not like?
So I wrote worst is I wrote all of the slow songs.
Mm.
Because so to me a slow song like a ballad has to at least have 100 beats per minute, 120 beats per minute. You know, you could play that 2 and 4 and
Mm-hmm.
make it sound halftime. But I honestly I feel like some of these songs were slower than a clock.
Mm.
Like it was so slow. And maybe my issue was I wasn't in the right mindset. Maybe I wasn't in the right situation to absorb that song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're in a rush and you're busy, the last thing you want to do is listen to a slow song. And if you're feeling very mellow, the last thing you want to do is listen to like "Kickstart My Heart." You know, it's all about how the mood, how you're feeling in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't do it.
Okay. So wow, like all the slow songs then.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Just
no, it's fine. I kind of thought that you might have liked Luckiest.
that
Um,
one. Okay. Here's the thing. I understand why that is considered a great song. I understand why it's considered a great song.
okay.
It's almost as if when he was writing it, he was like, every wedding for the next 10 years is going to have this like be the first dance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get the concept, I get the story. I think it's a I understand why people find it to be a good song. I personally am not a fan of the song.
Mm-hmm.
So just putting it out there. I'm not saying it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that I see that other people see the value in it. I don't.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He did love drums though in this album. Just lots of loud cymbals and drums, and I appreciated that on the songs that actually involve drums.
Yeah. So you were hoping that the song, I guess, one, you don't like his voice, and then two, you just wanted more just upbeat stuff.
Yeah, a little more pop stuff, and that actually brings me to the point I was trying to make earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing Ben Folds ever did was the Over the Hedge soundtrack.
Wow. Yeah. Why?
So, for those who are not familiar, Over the Hedge is a DreamWorks animated film from 2006. Great film, where basically Gary Sinise plays a anxious turtle, and he's trying to like get his forest friends to like gather for the winter. Well, here comes this raccoon. I can't remember his name, but he's played by Bruce Willis. And basically, this raccoon has to get food because he tried to steal food from a bear. All of the bear's food went away, and so basically, it's gather food or be punished by this bear. So he's using these forest creatures to gather this food, and the whole point of the film is that they live right next to the suburbs,
Mm-hmm.
and so they have to go over the hedge, or I guess under. It doesn't matter. They go past the hedge, and they just start collecting food from like trash cans and like scaring people and stealing Girl Scout cookies. Well, Ben Folds is like the entire soundtrack of this film.
Okay.
And the best song I think he ever did is Heist, which is a prominent song in that film. And for those, I hope we're not going to get copyrighted because I'm just going to hum the melody, I think. I think that's right. I think we can do that, right?
Yeah, sure.
I think we can. It's the one that it's for those that are familiar with the film. It's the one that's like the and it's very jazzy. It's very poppy. It still has that kind of boyish style tone to it when he sings, but I also think the issue is that this is a movie from 19 years ago that I really liked as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just really stuck with me.
Sure.
But man, you should have seen my face when I put those two and two together. I was on my phone last night, saw Rockin the Suburbs, and I listened to it, and I was like, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
And that song's also on the album too. He did another version with William Shatner.
Yeah.
Those guys are friends. Cool. Wish I could be friends with William Shatner. But I think that his best contributions to the musical world are when he's incorporating, slightly higher tempo music,
Mm-hmm.
more, brass and woodwind instruments. I mean, he's clearly a musical genius. I'm not going to say that he's not a genius. I just think that his talents are better suited when he's doing a specific style of music rather than just, a piano in him. And maybe those songs, those intimate songs, mean a lot more to people. But nah, Over the Hedge for me, baby, all the way. I actually wrote, I said the only reason I give him the time of day is his incredible contributions to the Over the Hedge soundtrack.
Okay.
So
Fair
yeah,
enough.
there's my whole thing. And if you remember the Over the Hedge, it's a great film. If you don't remember it, watch it. And he has some slow songs in that movie too. So it's not like I'm, hating across the board, but it is what it is.
I wonder if it's just a nostalgia thing.
Oh, it's 100% a nostalgia thing.
More so
I mean,
than-
yeah, it's
yeah.
100% nostalgia.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. So Ben Folds, he's kind of like friends with everybody and just randomly appears in music videos and things like that. And I mean, during the time in which this album came out, this was during.
Yeah, what day did this album come out?
I mean, this was 2001, so right in the middle of new metal out.
Yeah.
And there's still remnants of Backstreet Boys in sync. Like
He
it's
was
sort of the
carving a
tone.
niche.
Yes, very much so. And it was. I mean, it's straight up alternative rock, just something different. But within that genre there, and so yeah, I mean, he would make appearances with like Weird Al and, like you said, like William Shatner, and for some of you who might recognize him or not really sure or whatever, he was one of the like 3 hosts of the NBC show The Sing Off. That was the like a cappella singing show, and he and like Boyz II Men and like all of those like a cappella guys, like he would always like arrange melodies, harmonies, and things like that. He was just like very, very good at that, and so that was sort of his contribution to that show.
I feel like that show would do really well now. It was really popular during the Pitch Perfect era, but I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like, hey, executives, if you're watching this,
bring the sing off back.
bring it back.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, that was Ben Folds, Rockin the Suburbs. I'll see if I could try to come up with something else to either.
Hey, we're
You
challenging
absolutely hate-
challenging ourselves to new things.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's and here, like I said, I don't think the guy's a bad musician. I don't think he sucks. I don't think this album sucks. If we're in the car and you say like, "Hey, do you have any Ben Folds on your phone?" I'm gonna look at you, and it's not gonna be a smile. He's not in the rotation.
That's fair.
Sorry, Mr. Folds. Also, totally weird pet peeve. Don't call yourself the Ben Folds 5 if there's 3 of you. That's my issue.
Yeah.
That's sorry.
It's been a minute since I've looked up the band. I want to say they might have started off with 5. So
I hope the photo they have on Apple Music is just 3 guys.
yeah, it would eventually just become the 3 guys, but
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
Well,
with that being said, do you have a teaser for next week? Have you thought about it?
So I feel like we need to explore. It's like
Sean?
what's his name from Austin Powers?
Ben Folds.
I feel like we need to explore a different genre entirely. I know we did country a couple weeks ago, but we'll figure something out. I don't have anything in mind right now, but but it's weird. Your efforts in this venture have been to try to like almost pin me down to a specific genre.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it. I think I'm exploring new things each week.
Yeah.
Whereas like my goal is to see which wackiest music I can make you listen to. So we'll just see what happens. But yeah, I don't have one off the top of my head right now, but we will certainly have that. We'll be back for another episode of the Vinyl Vault. So,
all right. Well, for Parker, this is Tony, and we are leaving. We're going now. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you next week.